ועשו לי מקדש, ושוכנתי בתוכם, ואנחנו נברך מעתה ועד עולם. Oh God, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. ועשו לי מקדש, ושוכנתי בתוכם, ואנחנו נברך מעתה ועד עולם. Oh God, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
Shabbat Shalom, friends. Good to see you all here. There is no greater commandment in Judaism than that of the obligation to redeem captives. Tonight we're praying for a Shabbat of a bit more shalom for the land and people of Israel. For the first time in 7 weeks, at least when I wrote these words, there were no rockets flying, and 11 citizens of Thailand, 1 citizen of the Philippines, and 13 Israeli hostages were on their way to reconnect with their surviving family members. We are mindful, too, even in this moment of relief, that more than 200 other hostages are still being held, and we pray that they, too, will return to the embrace of their families and to begin the long journey of returning to a new life. Let's take a moment of silence as we begin this evening to pray for all of those families, for all the people of Israel, and for the Jewish people everywhere. As we welcome the Sabbath bride, we pray for peace in this world, not only on this Shabbat, but every day. Let's take a moment of quiet. May the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable to you, O God, our rock and our Redeemer. In a complicated and messy world, there are lots of things to celebrate as well. And we are particularly celebrating this Shabbat as Parker is called to the Torah as a bar mitzvah. And so we want to invite Parker and Les and David to come forward to help us with the candle blessing and with Kiddush.
Candles give light to all who behold them. So may As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who kindled light. So may we, in our own days, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kirshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu v'hadlik ner, v'hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
The heaven and the earth were finished in all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, ba'achava uvratzon, hin hilanu, zikaron, lama'aseh b'reishit. Ki hu yom tehileh lemikrai kodesh zeher litziat mitzrayim. Kivanu v'charta v'yotanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha v'ahava uvratzon in hotanu. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen.
L'chaim.
Yes, take a sip.
We continue now welcoming Shabbat with song. We begin with L'chun Aranana. L'chun Aranana l'Adonai nari'a litzor ishenu v'kadma fanav b'todah Bizmirot nari'a lo arba fanav b'todah Bizmirot nari'a lo Yihel gadol Adonai u'melech gadol al kol Elohim asher biyado Bekerei haaretz b'toafot harim lo asher biyado bekerei haaretz b'toafot harim lo Yailai, 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 yalalai, yalalai. Shiru, shiru, l'Adonai, shir chadash. Shiru, shiru, l'Adonai, kol haaretz. Sing, sing a song, sing a new song to our God. Sing a song of joy and praise. Sing it out, oh, sing it long. Yai, lai, lai, yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yalla, lai, 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 yalla, lai, lai, lai. Yalla, lai, lai, yalla, lai, lai, yalla, lai, lai. Yalla, lai, 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 yalla, lai, lai, lai. Yalla, lai, lai, yalla, lai, lai, yalla, lai, lai. Zamru l'Adonai bechinor, bechinor b'kol zimra, b'chatzotrot b'kol shofar. Hariu lifnei hamelech Adonai, Yiram hayam umlo, Tevel v'yoshveva, Beharot imcha ukaf, Yachar harim iranenu, Yiram hayam umlo, Tevel v'yoshveva, Beharot imcha ukaf, Yachar harim iranenu. Lecha dodi, likra kala, Erev Shabbat, dekabela. Lecha dodi, likra kala, Erev Shabbat, dekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad, Ishmi'anu el hamyukad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shemo tiferet v'letila, Lecha dodi, likra kala, Erev Shabbat, dekabela. Lecha dodi, likra kala, Erev Shabbat, dekabela.
Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor haberacha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof maaseh b'machshava tchila.
Lecha dodi, likrat kala, Erev Shabbat, dekabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, Erev Shabbat, dekabela.
Hitoreri, hitoreri, kiva orech kumiori, uri, uri, shir daberi, kevod Adonai alaich nikla.
Lecha dodi, likrat kala, Erev Shabbat, dekabela. Lecha dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Please rise.
בואי בשלום עטרת פלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי כלה, בואי כלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Having greeted Shabbat together, let's greet one another. Turn to all the people around you, wish them Shabbat Shalom. Find somebody maybe that you don't know and wish them Shabbat Shalom.
We're all strangers in the end. I'm saying we're all strangers in the end. The end of the story. Of course. Wait. We're born alone. Born alone. We die alone. That's not true. I mean, nobody's born alone. Come on.
Jonathan, if you're listening, I'm not sure if the slides are in Google Docs, but right now they're in PowerPoint and they're coming through with the Hebrew backwards. So we're going to try and work that problem. We're going to continue with Baruch Hu, which, for the sake of argument, while we're figuring out the slides, we can find in our prayer books on page 28. We remain standing, page 28.
Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. Leolam, leolam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach leolam va'ed. Yailai, yailalai, yailalai, lalai, lalai, yailalai, lalai, yailalai, lalai. Yailai, yailalai, yailalai, lalai, lalai, yailalai, lalai, yailalai, lalai. HaMevorach, HaMevorach leolam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach leolam va'ed.
Please be seated, page 30. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhmah poteach sharim, uvitfuna meshane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umesader et hakochavim b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom u'evi layla, umavdil ben yom uvein layla, Adonai tzvaot shemo. El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. We continue now with the words of Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha vehayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uvshokbecha uvkumecha ukshatam neot ayadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uktavtam amezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'elohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
Page 39 in your prayer book, if you'd like to follow along. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt, we were delivered. At Sinai, we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of this sea.
Tehilot, Ose, Pele, Nora, Tehilot, Ose, Pele, Malchutecha, Ra'uvanecha, Bokei Yam Mifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Zeili, Zeili, Anu ve'yameru, Adonai, Yimloch, Le'olam, Va'ed, Adonai, Yimloch, Le'olam, Va'ed. V'nemar kifad Adonai et Yaakov, ugalo miyad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim.
V'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim.
Ushmot zetenu uvoenu lechaim ushalom me'ata v'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. V'hamidenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. V'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat. Asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת. לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת. לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת.
We continue now with Tefillah. We invite you please to rise.
Tzatai tiftach Adonai Svatai Tiftach Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha Adonai Svatai Tiftach Adonai Svatai Tiftach Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, V'Zocher Chastei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevii Geula Livnei B'neihem, Leman Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer, U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol, Atah Rav Lehoshia, Mashiv HaRuach, U'Morid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chayim B'Chesed, Mechaye HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha B'Gevurot, Umidom Melach, Melech Memit, Umekayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, B'ne'eman atah l'hachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'kol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. You may be seated. For those who were here last week, I gave a sermon about hope, and I said that one of the ways that we can find hope is by leaning into gratitude. And as we just finished, we just had Thanksgiving, and we're in the weekend of Thanksgiving. I want to continue to lean into the idea of gratitude. There's a prayer, Modim Anachnu Lach, that's in our prayer book. We're going to do an original version by Michael Ox that has the refrain of Modim Anachnu Lach part of it. For the tiny rock spinning in space, for the stars that know to light our way, for the promise of the human race. Modim anachnu lach, for the leaves that fall in the autumn sun, to return once more when the springtime comes, for the rolling hills and rivers that run. Kodima nachnula, Kodima nachnula, Kodima nachnula, Kodima nachnula, Kodima nachnula. For the challenges that help us to grow, from fear to faith and doubt to hope, for finding the strength we did not know. Kodima nachnula, Kodima nachnula, Kodima nachnula, Kodima nachnula, Kodima nachnula. And for all who stand with those in need, in the face of true adversity, for freedom and justice and dignity, and the oneness of humanity. Kodima nachnula, Kodima nachnula, Kodima nachnula, Kodima nachnula, Kodima nachnula, Kodima nachnula, Kodima nachnula.
Gratitude for our cantor. A reflection before silent prayer by Rachel Barenblatt. She writes, if I had any pull with God, everything you need would appear right now in front of you. A door would open, and inside it, a rose-strewn path, the yearned-for embrace. I'd take the broken pieces of the afikomen and restore them as if by magic. But that isn't how God works. God isn't a diner waitress saying, what can I get you, hun? That's why our sages taught, a clay vessel is purified when it breaks and is glued. A human heart charged with a lifetime's losses becomes real when lovingly mended. All I can do, ask God to cradle your heart in her own hands and make you whole. We take a moment for silent prayer.
leratzon, imrei fi, vegion libi lefanecha, yihiu leratzon, imrei fi, vegion libi lefanecha, Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri v'goali, Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri v'goali, Yihiu leratzon imrei fi, vegion libi lefanecha, Yihiu leratzon imrei fi, vegion libi lefanecha, Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri v'goali, Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri v'goali, Yehiu leratzon imrei fi, vegion libi lefanecha, Yehiu leratzon imrei fi, vegion libi lefanecha, Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri v'goali, Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri v'goali.
We take this moment in our service to think of those in our circle of family and friends who are in need of healing, healing of body, healing of spirit. We have here listed members of our congregational family that we know we're praying for. If there are others that you're thinking of, we invite you please to mention their names aloud. We think of all of them, those we've mentioned aloud, those we hold in our hearts. We pray for those who are struggling with addiction and those in recovery. For all of them, we ask God to bring healing with that for them as we pray for healing now.
Dear God of our ancestors,
God of our ancestors,
help us renew our faith.
help us renew our faith.
Grant us a perfect healing.
Grant us a perfect healing.
Bring peace to all our days.
Bring peace to all our
El
days.
na refana la, refana lanu. El na refana la, refana lanu. Restore our strength of body.
Restore our strength of body.
Help clarify our minds.
Help clarify our minds.
Refresh our tired spirits.
Refresh our tired spirits.
Rejuvenate our light.
Rejuvenate our
El
light.
na refana la, refana Thank you for all these blessings
Thank you for all these blessings
throughout our days and nights.
throughout our days and nights.
We celebrate the journey,
We celebrate the journey,
this precious gift of life.
this precious gift of life.
Elna refana la, refana lanu. Elna refana la, refana lanu.
There are many fronts in this war in Israel and Gaza. There's, of course, the front of IDF soldiers fighting bravely to defend Israel. There's a front on social media. There's a front with historic allies and friends asking them to stand with us even as we mourn also for all the deaths of all the innocents in Israel and Gaza. There are so many fronts on which this battle is being fought. A big front in which the Jewish people are fighting as well, as we know, is on college campuses. And we have some of our college students here tonight. Tonight, we've asked Jordan Grover, who goes to the finest university in all the land, the University of Wisconsin-Madison. I got my Badgers shirt on underneath. And David Pomerantz, who also goes to a pretty good college, Columbia College. We've asked them to share some words and reflections about their experiences on campus. So I'm going to invite Jordan and David to come forward. And if you can join me in welcoming them to the Bima here at Shari, back to the Bima at Shari Tefillah. They both grew up here. So we talked to Jordan about a week ago, and we talked to David this morning about speaking. So Jordan, I think, has like some prepared remarks. David, it'd be great to have each of you share just a little bit about your experiences on campus, and then I might have a few questions for you, and maybe you'll all have a few questions as well. Does that sound good? So would you get us started, Jordan?
Yes. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jordan Grover, and I've been a member of Sh'rei Tefillah for the majority of my life. Currently I'm a freshman at the University of Wisconsin, like Rabbi Mosbacher just mentioned. And like any big sports school, Wisconsin has a similar Saturday every week. Me and my friends, we wake up early, we attend the farmers market around the state capitol, and then we go back to our rooms and get dressed to cheer on the Badgers for game day. However, this Saturday felt a little different. It was just a few days ago when me and my friends woke up, and instead of waking up early, we slept in a little bit. And instead of going to the farmers market around the state capitol, we just got Starbucks and went back to our dorms to hang out. Soon after, I was in my friend's dorm when she looked over at her phone. Her face dropped, and she told me I didn't want to see what she had just saw. I looked over her phone to see Nazis marching down our State Street. Our State Street is the main street in Madison, Wisconsin. For reference, my friends know how passionate I am about this war going on in the Middle East. Since October 7th, there have been many Free Palestine protests going on at the university. However, I'm not afraid to go up to every single one of those protesters and say what's on my mind. The first protest I saw, I put on my shirt that had a big Israeli flag on the back, made sure my Star of David was out, walked up and said, "Hey, you're all supporting my death. You guys all want me dead." Someone came up to me after and said, "I support you." And I got into a long conversation and really appreciated her for that. After looking over on my friend's phone, I was shocked by my reaction, not surprised. Why am I not surprised that there are Nazis marching around my college campus in almost 2024? It's November 2023, and my friends and family are afraid to go outside because of the people that want them dead. Watching them wave swastikas up in the air, walking where I just was an hour prior getting my Starbucks, walking to the state capitol where I spend every Saturday with my friends. See, these people, they had a goal in mind. Their goal was to make me sit inside and hide, but I didn't do that. I walked out of my room, and I got many calls from many people saying, take your star off, hide it. Even my friend said, we can't walk with you, you have to take that off. But I didn't. I walked outside, made sure it was out for everybody can see. And I talked to my parents on the phone. I told them I'm never taking it off because they win. These Nazis have one goal in mind, and that's to make us hide. But if we stick together, they can't make us hide, and we will achieve this. I made sure everyone on the street knew I was proud to be Jewish, because that was their goal. I then called my parents, because these Nazi supporters were then doing the Nazi salute, hailing Hitler. These people walking the streets just an hour prior to where I was. But no, it did not make me want to sit inside. It made me want to go outside more and spend time with the people I care about and not sit and achieve their goal. NBC News in Madison, Wisconsin wanted to interview local Jewish students, so I reached out and volunteered. I told them, and I stressed enough, that I'm not afraid as a 17-year-old girl. And there's no reason why anyone else should be afraid if I'm 17 and no one else is afraid. Only more reasons for people to be walking outside on their everyday lives is reasons why they should be. Just the other day, I was walking back from class when I saw kidnap posters torn down on every corner. Then across the street, I saw another kidnap sign. But it wasn't for a person or a pet. Instead, the name was Palestine. My friend and I immediately tore it down. Because what they don't understand is a piece of our heart, a piece of our mind, and a piece of us have been kidnapped by Palestine, by these terrorist groups in Gaza, Hamas. These terror supporters were wearing masks during this march. Why? Because they're embarrassed to associate themselves with this group. Unlike me, who is willing to talk to anybody who comes up in my presence and talks about me to my religion. That's why I'm here speaking today, to tell you all to be proud of your Jewish religion. Show off any stars of David that you may have, even if people say hide them. Wear them with pride, because that's the only way we'll get through this. Hang up those Israeli flags from your window so everyone knows who you're proud to be. While reading my speech to my mom earlier, she started to cry. She was upset that in the year 2023, I had to be giving a speech like this to people to stop being anti-Semitic. But what I told her is that I needed to do this. As I said in my interview, our voice is bigger than any flag with a swastika someone will march with ever. We'll get through this together, but only with everyone showing their pride. And never be afraid to hide who you truly are. Never again is right now. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Jordan. Yes, we got a Todah Rabbah over here. David, can you say a little bit about your experience at Columbia College, please?
Sure. Well, first of all, Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
It's good to see you all here. I want to thank Rabbi Mosbacher and Cantor Kipnis for inviting me to speak tonight. I want to thank Jordan for that. That was tremendous and inspirational. I hope everyone's doing okay in these trying times. Very briefly, over the last month and a half since October 7th, it's been a very difficult time for the entire Columbia Jewish community. There's been an avalanche of anti-Semitic language on social media, protests on the campus itself, instances of violence, scuffles between pro-Israel supporters and anti-Israel supporters. So it's been a difficult time for all of us. But the flip side to that is the way that the community has come together at Columbia, the way that we've organized, the way that hundreds and hundreds of people have shown up for every Shabbat dinner, overflow crowds, the way that protests in support of Israel, in support of freeing the hostages, have seen hundreds of students and faculty and people from the neighborhood that have come to participate has been commendable as well. So I think that's sort of the spirit that I'm here tonight. Our love trumps their hate. So yeah, I want to thank the rabbi again for inviting me.
Thank you.
That's it.
So David, you touched on it a little bit. I'm curious, Jordan, too, what support has come around Jewish students? Is it, first of all, are you experiencing support, David? You said you found that people are coming together in certain kinds of ways, which is great. I'm wondering for both of you, who is showing up for the Jewish community on your campus, if anyone? Is it just Jews? Is it other people as well? What has it felt like in that regard?
Sure. Well, first of all, yeah, the Jews themselves. We've all come together. I think that's been number one. I think that's what history has shown, right? When at the end of the day, it's really up to us. But we have had strong allies along our side, friends who have come and just, good-hearted people who can differentiate between right and wrong have come to our aid. So that's been encouraging.
And how about for you, Jordan?
For me, I haven't been as lucky. Besides the Jewish people on my college campus and my rabbis at Chabad and Hillel, there really haven't been much support from people, especially even people in the Jewish community. They feel so hurt and they feel so ashamed about what's going on, and they're scared to go outside because of this lack of support. Even before I came, someone told me in a text about what I said on social media, calling me ugly, and all because I was supporting Israel. So just things like that. There's not much support, and all because I was acknowledging Paul Kessler, an Israeli that died innocently.
I'm sorry that you haven't had more support. I know the rabbis at Hillel at Wisconsin. They're good people, but I have felt, and I've said here, and I think we've talked about, we had an interfaith Thanksgiving service with 10 communities of faith here the other day, and it's helpful. Yes, David, I would agree with you that we have to stand together as Jews, and it's also better when we're not standing alone, if we can not stand alone. I'm curious for each of you. I'm super inspired by your strength and your story and your willingness to not only speak to us, but also you've both spoken in the media, and I'm curious where the strength comes for you to be able to stand up in the ways that you are standing up. Where does that come from?
So that's a great question. Quick story on that note. The night of October 7th at Columbia, the massacre had just happened that day. There was sort of an impromptu vigil that got put together in the middle of the campus. Maybe a few dozen Jewish students came. Everyone's crying. Some of them had relatives in Israel that they hadn't been able to get in contact with because it was Shabbat that day. This guy gets up there to speak, a student who was in the Columbia General Studies program, who told us that Monday morning he had already booked his flight to go back and fly to Israel because he was in the reserves. He had served first, and then he came to Columbia to study. So he said, Monday morning I'm gone in the middle of the semester. I'm going to have to go fight. The rest of you are not going to be flying back, but you're going to have a fight of your own here in the United States. Everyone's got their own role to play. And he saw what was about to happen, the hundreds of students and faculty who were going to come together against us and basically stand with the terrorists. So everyone has a role to play. I mean, the soldiers who are out there fighting, the hostage negotiators who just, we got the first hostage released today. It's incredible news. Everyone's got a role to play. So I think that's been my mentality there.
Thanks, David. How about for you, Jordan? Where does your strength come from in this moment?
I just feel like if we don't have faith, then there is no faith. And the only way to get through this is if you power through. Like I said, there's no reason to be afraid of these people who are claiming to be anti-Israel and anti-Jewish people overall, but honestly, they're not going to do anything about it. It's just their voice, and our voice as a collective is much more important than anything they can do or say.
Questions, friends? These are two inspiring people here. Questions, comments, reactions. Yes, Liz. You know, Liz, I'm going to come to you because then people online can hear as well. If that's okay, real quick.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
First, I just want to thank you for coming and being willing to speak out about what's going on in your lives, because right now I'm past the stage of having children on the college campus. But I was just wondering whether what's going on your individual campuses you've had any desire to leave that campus and go somewhere else, or whether you feel you should stay.
I think that's a great question. Maybe a little part of me at one point, just when, this outpouring of venomous hate, it's certainly scary, not just for me, but for all of us, to know that when I go to class, I look to the right and to the left, easily somebody who I'm surrounded by could have been out there chanting for an intifada. But I don't think that's the solution. I don't think leaving and fleeing and allowing these hateful voices to fill that void is ever going to work. I think we have an obligation to stay and fight. And to what I was saying before, everyone has a role to play. If this is the minuscule thing that I can do, is stay at Columbia and speak out for what I know to be true, then I feel like I have an obligation to do that. So, not going anywhere.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, honestly, seeing all these people just makes me want to work harder with the Jewish people and connect more, because it honestly touches me seeing them out there, especially like I said, like seeing Nazis in 2023 isn't a normal thing, and it should never be normalized, nor should it have ever. But seeing them made me want to stay there longer, made me want to talk to them personally, because like I said, I know they're not going to do anything. And it's just it's just them marching. It's them hailing Hitler, but what is that going to do? That's not going to do anything, because those actions don't speak as loud as this right now. So, no, I would never leave. If anything, it'd make me want to stay and live there longer just to fight with these people.
What about the second? Other questions? Yes. Laura, you guys have anything you want to say?
So last week I heard from someone, actually here, who had an incident with a faculty member during a class. Have you experienced anything like that? And also, what do you feel about what the administration is doing?
Well, personally, my friend has had to speak to her professor because of anti-Semitic things that were said in a science, medicine, and race class. So she had to speak to them just the other day about that. None of my professors have brought it up. I'm in a political science class, which we speak about it after class, but I'm in a Jewish studies class, which we have not spoken about it. And he's just following the curriculum, which has been a little upsetting, just not even recognizing it. But the faculty, they are not doing the job that they need to be doing. Every Jewish person on every college campus right now is scared. They're disgusted. And these people they're not really doing anything. Why are they letting Nazis march down the street? That shouldn't be allowed. They're not doing anything at all, and that's the main problem. So, at least for my school, they're really not doing the bare minimum.
David, do you want to respond to that question?
Sure. I think personally I haven't had any direct instances in a class where it's come up, thankfully. As for what the administration can do, I think it was weak. I think in the early days they equivocated, and as this began to bubble up, now they've instituted an anti-Semitism task force because it's just been so overwhelming. The reports have been coming in all over the place of students who don't feel comfortable even walking to class, students who don't feel comfortable saying that they're Jewish, to Jordan's point. But I think overall it's been weak. I think in times like this you need to show real moral clarity, and I don't think they did that.
Maybe one more question.
Yeah.
Yes. Jane.
Thank you. Has there been a response from Jewish alumni at either of your schools? And if not, is there a way to maybe get a list of, I don't know, Jewish donors, tactics that could build a community for yourself in terms of the alumni, because alumni care. They just don't know necessarily how to reach out. Money talks.
Mm-hmm. Money absolutely talks, and you have to hit them where it hurts. The answer is yes, absolutely. There's been just an unbelievable response from the alums, because people don't want to donate to universities that they think is complicit in this unbelievable anti-Semitism. So I know donors have been pulling away their funds, and they've also been redirecting the money in ways that they think is more useful. So I know going directly to Columbia Chabad and helping out their efforts. Columbia Chabad just did a fundraiser where instead of giving to Columbia, everybody came together and they raised money for an ambulance that's going to go directly to Jerusalem, and it's going to say from Columbia Chabad on it. So just trying to redirect those funds and those efforts in ways that are more constructive. It's been happening, and it's really good to see.
Yeah, I mean, for us, for Wisconsin alumni, in 24 hours, they raised $17,000 for Chabad, for us to hold place for people to sit and just talk to the rabbis and just let out their feelings based on everything going on. And also, in Hillel, there's a restaurant where all the money for certain foods go directly to Israel and help support the fight.
So I'm very inspired by this conversation and grateful to both of you. I have one more question for now, and then maybe you guys can hang out during the oneg and stuff. Other people can come and ask you questions. You've each touched on this in a way, but I feel like I'd love to hear what you would say. And you've each touched on this in a certain kind of way, but maybe one more time to share what you would say to students at other campuses who might feel intimidated, scared, hesitant to speak up. What would you say to them?
I would just say, what's going to happen if you speak up? If someone goes up to you and wants to talk to you, let them. Because I know I'd be happy to talk to anybody that wants to come up to me and speak to me about being Jewish and my opinions. Instead of people just commenting and making mean comments towards you, I think it's better for everyone for you to just ask questions, open, honest questions, just to get these answers from you that you're not getting from just saying mean comments towards people.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, I really do think every individual student and person has their own role to play, and it's not going to be the same thing for everybody. So I wouldn't encourage a student who felt physically unsafe to go put themselves out there, because I don't think that's smart. But I think any little thing, any little mitzvah, even if it's going to a Shabbat dinner on Friday night on your local campus, calling up your Jewish friend or Jewish relative, whatever that is for you, I'd encourage them to do it. Because it is scary and it is terrifying. And I have friends who have gotten physical threats of violence against them. And I wouldn't want anybody to put themselves out there to a point where they feel like they're physically unsafe. So whatever somebody's comfortable with.
Can we thank David and Jordan for sharing their stories? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it. You are always welcome here. We always want to hear your stories, and we're grateful to both of you. Rabbi Nachman of Bratslav wrote this very powerful saying. He said, Kol ha'olam kulo gesher tsar me'od. The entire world is a narrow bridge. And in the original, he wrote, V'ha'ikar lo lehit pached klal. The important thing is to not freak yourself out. The important thing is to not freak yourself out. Baruch Chait, who I think was an Israeli composer, took those words and wrote this song that we probably know. Kol ha'olam kulo gesher tsar ma'od v'ha'ikar lo lefached klal. The important thing is not to be afraid. And it's a beautiful song, and we're going to sing it. But I think I want to distinguish for us between, and I feel like Jordan and David help us distinguish between not being afraid and not freaking yourself out. Those are not the same things. Both of them acknowledged that there could be reason to be afraid So to tell someone, don't be afraid when they're afraid, I mean, I don't know how well that works. But there's a possibility that even in our fear, and I want to thank David and Jordan because they've taught me this lesson tonight, and hopefully all of us as well, that even when you're afraid, even when you're scared or worried, there can be good things that you can do if you don't lose your mind, if you don't freak out. Does that make sense, that distinction? So as we sing this song, I'm thinking about the words that are in the song and the words that Rabbi Nachman wrote, and inviting us all. I know I will be taking Jordan's words and David's words with me this evening. For those of us who have college students, might be thinking about it, and just those of us, even like Liz, who are beyond the years of having college students, these words can be animating for us as well.
העולם כולו כשצר מאוד, כשצר מאוד, כשצר מאוד, כל העולם כולו כשצר מאוד, כשצר מאוד. והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד, לא לפחד כלל. והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד כלל. והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד, לא לפחד כלל. והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד כלל. כל העולם כולו כשצר מאוד, כשצר מאוד, כשצר מאוד. כל העולם כולו כשצר מאוד, כשצר מאוד. והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד, לא לפחד כלל. והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד כלל. והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד, לא לפחד כלל. והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד כלל. We invite you to rise as we continue with Aleinu on page 282. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו echad.
We think now of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we've drawn into our hearts with our own. I regret to inform you of the death of our friend and past President Lois Nyren, who passed away today. Her funeral will be here at Shari Tefillah on Monday at 11 a.m. Details on Shiva will go out with the notice that you'll receive tomorrow evening. Zichrona livracha, may her memory live as an enduring blessing. In the period of Shloshim, we remember Rachel Levy, member of our congregation, Maren Swenson Waxenberg, sister-in-law of Susan Waxenberg, Rabbi Avraham Holtz, cousin of Marlene Nadell, and these whose yahrzeit, the anniversaries of their deaths, are marked at this time. And of course, if you hear the name of a loved one, we invite you please to stand. Elda Engen, Morris Aronoff, Hilda Barbanel, Minnie Bass, Felix Benz, Sarah Bricker, Rose Bromberg, Harry E. Bronston, Selma Calvin, Jean A. Cantor, Fifi Danziger, Sheila Dimmenstein, Alvin Dwoskin, Magda Fiala, Jean Fink, Rebecca Fleischman, Eric Fried, Ruth Glick, Barney Golub, Harry Greenberg,
Francis Hausman, George Hodis, Linda Horowitz, Solomon Kaplan, Lulu Katz, Joseph Kerman, Lawrence Kiosk, Diane Langley, Nat Levy, Donald Lynn, Anne Langoff Luss, Daniel Rowan, Harvey Shelley, Harold Schlensky, Ruth Siskin, Armin Spingold, Alexander H. Steinkohler, Naomi Vogel, Milton Warren, Harry N. Wessel Jr., and Saul Westheimer.
If there are others that you're remembering, we invite you please to rise and mention your loved one's name aloud.
Vivian Silver. Jason Lederman.
Zichronam Libracha, may all of their memories live as a blessing. We remember as well those who have no one left to say Kaddish for them. In that spirit, we rise together as a community. Yitgadal, Yitkadash, Shemei Rabbah, Balma Divrach, Cherutei, V'yamlich Malchutei, B'chayechon, V'yomechon, V'chayedechol Beit Yisrael, Bagala Vizman Kariv V'imru Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mavarach Le'alam U'Lalmei Almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemed kudsha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata damiran b'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru. Amen. Please be seated.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen.
A few announcements before we conclude. Most importantly, Mazel Tov to Parker and his family. Yes, great job tonight, and he's going to lead us beautifully tomorrow. And Minyan and Torah study is always tomorrow as well. Thanks again to Jordan and David for sharing their stories. Please do talk to them during the Oneg and thank them and be inspired by them. Our Gift of Light fundraiser is almost done. The deadline is this Tuesday. If you haven't had a chance to participate, it would be wonderful if you could. Next Friday is already December. I can't believe it. Rabbi Miriam Klotz, one of my most important teachers, is going to be here as our scholar in residence. Friday night, she'll be speaking during services. She'll be teaching a learning on Saturday at noon, and she will be offering Torah yoga Sunday at 9 a.m. No previous experience required, which is good for me. I appreciate that. We're asking people to sign up for the Saturday and Sunday sessions if you please can do that urgently on Monday. We have an Israel program with David Halpern of the Israel Policy Forum on December 6th. Friday, December 8th, we'll be celebrating Shabbat Hanukkah. Bring your menorah at 6 p.m. to light here in the Davis. Come and sing with our choirs, and there'll be a formal launch of our year-long food program, Manna, after services as well. Latka Guys is back
yes.
and better than ever.
Yeah, exactly.
Sunday, December 10th, Latka making at 9 o'clock next door at Sojourn. They're loaning us their kitchen, which is so awesome. And there's a family brunch after. Details about all these things are in the weekly. December 12th, we're having an evening of contemplation, connection, and heartbreak around the war in Israel and Gaza. That's Tuesday, December 12th, another opportunity for us to gather and connect with one another. Our annual appeal is well underway. So far, we've raised about 80% of our goal, which is fantastic, but we need to get to 100%. So if you haven't had a chance yet to donate $18 or more, but $18 would be good, especially if you've never given before. Maybe this is the year you can give $18 to help us get to 100% participation. That's what we really want. So please consider making a year-end donation. You can go to our website after Shabbos and donate. I'm leaving tomorrow evening along with our congregant and past president, Michael Laffer, on a solidarity mission to Israel with the Association of Reformed Zionists of America. I'll be giving an update from Jerusalem this coming Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. New York time on Zoom. You'll receive the Zoom link on Wednesday morning, and hope you'll join us for that. I look forward to telling you all about it. Our closing song is, words are things that you probably already know, Oseh Shalom. We hope that you'll sing with us.
Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu be'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu be'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu be'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu be'al kol Yisrael. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu be'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu be'al kol Yoshei Tevel. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu be'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu be'al kol Yoshei Tevel.
Shabbat Shalom.
pass on.
של השם. של השם יתברך.
ראית מה שאמרתי לך, אחי? תביא בזה?
לא, אחי, לא ראיתי אותו בסוף. כן? צריך איזה רגע. כן. אשכרה. מעניין, שיט מעניין בפנים. אני מרביץ איזה בירה ואיזה...
אין עניין שאם יש תור, בוא נלך לאיזה בר. אם אין תור, let's do it. משנים איזה פרוטוקול.
כן, יאללה.
רק תורן שאין פרמית שלהם, שהכל מצוצים.
כל דבר ב...
וכל שוטם. לא שאני מכיר אותו טעם להרבה.
השמן הזה. שממן הזה. גרגרן, גודגדן. דובדבן. גם דובדבן. ועמילן. אכלת לי את הסמיר במסיבה. Oh, thanks. Happy you enjoyed it.
Great.